Okay, we're back. And we're going to do lair. And it's going to be really, really quick. This character can just tab everything. I guess I probably don't want to be next to a Hydra still, but other than that, it's really not much I'm afraid of. Just tabbing to death with this bow. This game has been so insanely pleasant to me in terms of the loot. Let's just drop these books. Let's also drop this used up wand. A little inventory management here. Drop all this stuff. Just some wands we don't need. Enslavement is nice to have, but we're really not training. We're just really not training evocations, even though I usually do. There's no reason to do it on this character. Yara's spawned. If I want to swap off Trog at some point and be able to handle repel missiles monsters without swapping, but even that's not really necessary. Hopefully we find a barding soon. Maybe I'll find acquirement. Normally I'd do book on a Trog worshipper, but on this one I would do armor. Hoping for barding. Mainly because I've already got full training in my weapon, rather than because I'm a Centaur. Pretty filled up lair 2. We are just plowing through it. Looks like we have cleared lair 2. Honestly, we have everything we need to finish the game. We have 1 pip of RF, we have an excellent longbow, we have an insane amount of slaying, and we have half-decent defenses. If we wanted to go into Zot, maybe 10 levels from now, with this exact same equipment, I'd be pretty comfortable doing it, honestly. It's nice when I don't even have to kite the Hydras, I just tab. But yeah, that longbow velocity is going to become our actual endgame weapon once it gets to +9, because, well, of course, some things are immune to Venom. Venom's a perfectly good brand for the early and mid-game. Kind of falls off a bit later. Just doesn't damage things fast enough. But for now, it's great. I would take an unbranded +8 longbow at this point, really. It's just how good longbows are. Man, every so often, like, I always talk about how great longbows are, but it always surprises me when I finally go back and play one, a longbow character, just how incredible they really are. I mean, certainly the fact that we have so much extra slaying is coloring this experience a bit. But, you know, it really is this good. In fact, I might make this my standard plan of action on characters, like on a Berserker. I'm half convinced that the best thing to do is rely on Berserk to kill things in the early game, and then just get a longbow, because there's nothing saying that you can't do this on a character that's not a Centaur. I mean, you saw my, well, if you've looked at some of my previous videos, I have a human hunter where I did bows and did pretty much the same thing, only without Trog. It works out just fine. Anything with like a plus 0 apt or above in bows, or even -1 or above. So why not, you know? Okay, I'm gonna drop these books. You might be wondering why I'm not burning them. Well, I might want them later. Alright, literally less than 6 minutes into the video, we're already on layer 6. It's a magic map. We're gonna get that. We're gonna get to that. Labyrinth. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what to do about this guy. I think we need to go around. This water makes me uncomfortable. Alright, let's kill that, walk around. Wait, I want some food. Alright, let's just get to the lab. We'll worry about the electric dude later. Get another blink scroll. Looks like we're swimming in those. And we go into the labyrinth. Cool. No digging, unfortunately. But let's see if we can find our way out nonetheless. Identify some of these scrolls real quick. We found brand weapon, but I don't see myself using it really. Okay, that's a dead end. Remember, we're going towards the... We want to get away from the rock. Like we want to... This is the outer edge, then it's rock, then it's stone, then it's metal. This is stone. This is rock. So we know that the center is in a general southerly direction, but that doesn't mean that we won't have to go around like I'm doing. Like I went sort of to the east, and then around. No real way of knowing if this is the path or not until we start seeing metal, and then we can become reasonably sure once we see metal that we're probably on the right track. Unfortunately, this is a dead end. It's such an annoying dead end that I think I'm going to teleport. Did it just teleport me right back into the dead end? Maybe not. Yeah, this is different. If you get lost in here, you can use the ancient dungeon crawling wisdom of following a wall, and that might help you for a little while. I wouldn't do it mindlessly. I might do it for a little while just to find your way to a different section. I'm going to teleport because I have a huge stack. So using a couple teleports in here is no big deal. There we go. It took me out of here and close to... Alright, sometimes you'll have crystal in the center sometimes, and that'll mark where the Minotaur is. And he goes down like everything else to the power of my bow. So much enchant armor. I should probably go ahead and use some. Wait, what did I even find? I guess it was a bunch of wands. Nothing too great. We'll drop confusion, flame, one of these two ice blasts, and disintegrate. Any helmets? I guess I'll grab this helmet. And I'll enchant it up. This is just annoying. There we go. Phantom mirror. I'll grab that. I keep checking these bows because there is always the chance that Trog gives me speed. Unlikely, but if he does, then, well, that's a good time. Really nothing better than a +9 longbow of speed. It's an interesting little wet forest vault. Not a huge fan of any vault that forces you to go into the water, but it is an interesting challenge, and I don't think it's a bad vault because it gives you the option of not going in. It's not completely covered in shallow water, so I can use positioning intelligently. So yeah, I think it's a perfectly fine vault. Perhaps one of the harder ones, though, for the branch end, depending on what all ends up in here. You know. If it's positioned badly, so you kind of have to fight it on the shallow water, things like that. But yeah, it's not a bad vault. Guess what? We're immune to this cloud. We'll just stand in it. You know, if you have Wand of Cloud immunity, in theory, you could just carry like a Catoblepus around with you everywhere and petrify everything in its cloud. I'd like to see somebody... I mean, that sounds like the most tedious thing in the universe, but it also sounds like hilarious and powerful. I would like to see somebody do that. I'm not sure if you can take them into, like, the hells or anything. I'm sure they probably do follow you. I mean, they'll follow you out of the lair, so I don't see why they wouldn't follow you into hell. I gotta give that a shot sometime. That sounds great. Like, just let every Catoblepus survive, you know? And then lure it up when you need one. It's kind of funny. Alright, that's life 6. 2 pips of MR, 1 pip of RF, 0 pips of RN+. Those are the 3 things that matter in Orc. We don't have all the pieces of the puzzle, but it's together enough that we can go down there. I can just MR++ when I can just Trog's Hand if I run into any Orc Sorcerers. So down we go into the Orc Mines. Let's do one more look over on the entire lair loot. Yeah, we pretty much cleared this out. I do want to grab this. Let's not leave arrows lying around. This I'm not going to fight yet. This stuff is kind of silly. All right, into Orc. Try not to tab this quite so quickly. Tiny little entrance. Well, I'm going to magic map. I really, really, really don't recommend coming back up, like going down and coming back up into one of these when it's separated like this. And there's a reason for that. Oh, we don't have digging. That sucks. The reason for that is you could get instantly paralyzed. Not a good time. Or you could have an Etten next to you, you could have an Orc Warlord next to you, you could have a Deep Troll next to you. All kinds of really stupid things can happen. So I really don't recommend it. It's the Ogre end. I will never get over how fun it is to use immolation. That's a perfectly valid use for it too. This Ogre Vault is a bit difficult. In fact, I should have Trog's hand up in case one of those Ogre Mages tries to paralyze or banish me. I personally like getting this end as long as I have the MR to handle it, because it just means more experience for me. The Ogre Mages can be a bit of a pain, but in general, the ogres themselves and the two-headed ogres are fine because by now you should have some tool in your toolbox to deal with high damage, low speed monsters. By low, I mean speed 10. Oh wait, should have had Trog's hand up while fighting that, but that's okay, it worked out. Didn't quite realize my Trog's hand ended. Alright, shop number 1 has nothing I want. Maybe that Morning Star for a stat stick for Aralek, but not really. Shop number 2 has Crystal Plate Armor, which is cute, but I'd rather have the +5 slaying on my Chainmail. Chainmail, right? Yeah, Chainmail. Everything else is middling at best. Shop number 3 has Gold Dragon Scales, which I don't care about. Has Gloves, which I don't care about because I'm using Gauntlets of War. And has an artifact, which I might care about. This has an artifact amulet I care about. This has haste. This has curing. I want those. Has an amulet and another amulet. And a book, which I'm going to mark on my shopping list, but I'm not actually going to buy it. And we'll get Identify as well. And let's get this armor. Try it on. It sucks. We remove Curse. Could have been +6 slaying or something. I mean, who knows? Well, that's interesting. The amulet has Faith, MR++, Int +4, and Stealth. You know what? I am actually going to use Harm on this character. Kind of silly, but I mean, usually it's bad. It still is bad. Like, this thing can now do... Now I have to do extra math. I don't know exactly how much harm does. It's like 30%, I think. Anyway, I'm gonna have to do extra math on how much damage stuff can do to me. I think that Stone Giant was doing significantly more than he should have been. Okay. Eat this bread. I'm gonna invisibility, and I'm gonna Trog's Hand as I go up here. This is fine, I can kite this stuff. Okay, I'm not even gonna get the loot because, well, never mind, all my cool stuff wore off. So much for being a fast Centaur. I'm gonna do that again. I don't have invisibility again, but I am going to Trog's Hand. And I'm glad I did because this dude. That was the only Orc Sorcerer we found, as far as I remember. Oh, there's another one. Alright, cool. Yeah, that's Orc. Lair an Orc in less than 20 minutes, pretty good. Looks like our fighting is up to 18. So we're getting there. Yeah, why don't we just roll right into Shoals, I guess. Do I want to go to Shoals or do I want to go to Snake? I guess I want to go to... I guess I want to go to Snake, actually. Get some more arrows here. I mean, this video is only 20 minutes now, so I think we can just bowl through this stuff, really. Keeping in mind that I have harm. So I need to definitely remember that. Probably will use some resources if we get Guardian snaked. Okay, Scroll of Teleportation, Potion of Magic, Potion of Cancellation. Everything else is not very interesting. Phantom Mirrors we'll put on the list, but we don't need. Field of Floods would be nice, but that is expensive. Digging we want right now. I will try out these gloves and this troll leather armor, but I don't anticipate they'll be useful. We can't afford them now, so let's save up. We do take damage rather quickly because of this harm and because of our low defenses, so that's something to keep in mind. We don't have our elect, we don't have our poise, so venom bolts and things are gonna really hammer us in here. Not good. Not good. Well, Trog's Hand to start with. Fog. Deep Troll. One Deep Troll should be sufficient. Yeah, the arrows are doing damage, and the Troll takes him out as well. A little concerned about that because, you know, Isil can swing very quickly, just naturally, so he can Venom Bolt you twice in a row. Keeping in mind that I have harm on, that's a lot of damage, especially since I don't have you know, don't have defenses really, or our poise or anything that I would want to avoid taking damage from his venom bolts. Which is why I spent some piety resources and some permanent resources like fog to deal with that situation in a somewhat safer way. I don't think he could have one-shotted me still, even if he had hit me twice for full damage. Oh, that didn't work out. Oh, we're next to so much stuff. Let's teleport. Yeah, Guardian Serpents are the only thing I'm scared of in here. Everything else I can kite this stuff even more easily than regular enemies because it's like they're Nagas, they're really slow. Sweet. And this is just so satisfying to play. It makes me want to play nothing but like Centaur Hunters and stuff, honestly. You can just erase most threats. Nothing is frustrating on this character, really. I guess I could think of a few scenarios that would be a little annoying. Floating eyes behind things. I don't have portal projectile to deal with that. This is sweet. Just clear out the vault one at a time. Okay, let's reset this fight. No guardian serpents here yet on the fourth floor. That's pretty cool. I think I want to bail now in case there's more stuff. There is more stuff, but we're okay. We heal up and get right back into it. I figured Vashnia was here just because of the amount of stuff that was, like the amount of sharpshooters. Ah, come on. Just want to get my health back here. The things keep coming. Let's check out these longbows. Longbow freezing, flaming, velocity. Nothing we really want. I'm gonna have to start thinking about how I'm gonna do slime on this character. It's gonna be a little awkward without portal projectile. Jeez, just get some dexterity still. We're gonna be training dodging eventually. And if we stick to this chainmail, we're gonna have, well, we're gonna have decently low encumbrance, just 15. It's about the same as Storm Dragon, I think. I can check that. Or while I wrestle with the interface here, yeah, same as Storm Dragon. It's not so bad. By the way, everything in here is resistant to poison. Well, everything that's a Naga. And even so, my essentially unbranded +8 longbow is just wrecking everything. Wow, he really likes giving me longbows of velocity. Where's my speed? No speed yet. I'm not actually holding out for speed. The chance of that happening is pretty low. In my experience, I think I've only had it happen like one time, where he gave me a good longbow speed. But when it happens, you will see the difference. It's even more overpowered. Kind of like being hasted all the time. And then if you haste, it's like being double hasted. Alright, getting a little hurt for all this. I do like the fact that they're filtering out one at a time, letting me just murder them one by one. Alright, that's our first rune. Blew through Snake like a hurricane. Let's do the same thing to Shoals real quick. So this video will be, you know, outside of a speed run, this is the fastest I think I've done these lair branches. So this whole video is going to be lair, orc, Shoals, and snake. You might be able to do a half-decent speed run with a Centaur Berserker, come to think of it. Might be a little bit awkward. Okay, I got hit with... okay, never mind. I thought I got teleported, but I didn't. Let's use... Do I not have resistance? Am I blind? I do not have resistance. And I'm wearing harm, and Nicola is here, so this is a recipe for getting murdered. So clearly we're gonna blink on out of here. As far as what I'm gonna do about this, I don't want to leave him alive up here because as soon as I come up, knowing my luck, he'll just be hanging out there. So let's go grab Aralek as a swap on. Oh. Well, we can't afford that. I'm gonna check out these gloves real quick. They might be Aralek. They're not. They're terrible. I don't know what to do. I guess I have to take off my harm, and even that is not really enough. I will... Do I have silence? Nope. I'm just gonna take the risk of course. I was gonna say I'll just take the risk and I'll go to Shoals 2. Whatever. I'm gonna take off harm. Probably put it right back on, honestly. I'll drink haste. I'll drink lignify as soon as he comes up. Just for the hit points. We're not like Aralek in this or something, but yeah, we'll get him with the hasted bow tree. Cool. I'm gonna put harm right back on. I can't believe I'm using harm. I hate this amulet, but I have to say it is pretty decent on this character, and probably this character alone. It's not necessary by any means. Well, those gloves provide me a swap for Aralek if I really need it, but the main reason I would need it is now dead. So we're probably going to take off harm for like Zot, by the way, especially if I don't have Aralek. If I have 2 pips of fire resistance and I have Aralek, then I'll do Zot with harm on. But if not, you know, forget that. Still no barding, by the way. We could very well go the whole game without finding barding. Okay, we got some haste here, got a lignify. I'm not going to buy anything. I'm going to save. I'm going to save for the haste. Okay, let's fly. Let's Trog's Hand so we don't get petrified. And let's take out Jorgrim. That thing was repel missiles, but we really don't care. Just fire right through it, really. And down it goes, you know. Commentary has probably taken a dive on this video because there's just not much to talk about. I mean, you O and you tab. You auto-explore and you tab more. I mean, that is just how good it is. And it becomes more a situation of how do I deal with something scary that comes up, like Nicola, you know. That's when you're faced with interesting situations, and it's a lot of that interspersed with a lot of popcorn that you're tabbing through. Oh man. I'm marked. You know what? I don't want to be asleep. So I'm going to stay out of range of those guys. How did I get moved? Blown backwards. Okay. Why don't we stroll on down to the staircase just to be safe? Oh, it's an island. Well, I would like to finish out the rest of Shoals 3. Could be loot, definitely will be experience. Let's drop one of these diggings. Random effects. We're doing okay on items otherwise. So one thing we want to watch out for while wearing this harm amulet is getting swamped by javelineers. Gonna want to be careful of that. Alright, let's head down. Oh, well, it's happening. Let's definitely, I should definitely remember to leave before it's my instinct to leave, because of the way that because of the harm amulet I'm wearing. If that makes sense. Whew. That could have been bad. Very contested, Shoals 4. Wow. Yeah, we're gonna fear this stuff. Take out some of this ranged attack stuff, so we're not taking quite so much damage. Let's regen, so we can't get Avatar Songed. Let's leave before this Kraken is, you know, murdering us. Go down here, come back up. Yeah, all of this makes me want to take off the Harm Amulet, I'm going to be honest. Put on regen, go back up. Take that out. Take this guy out. How much damage can he even do? 12, but he can airstrike for like probably 50. Jeez. Alright. This doesn't look quite so contested anymore. There's El Sui, though. Down here is, well, I'll use Trog's Hand to go down. Pull this dude. Take him out. Pull this dude, take him out. It's just too much. It's just too much stuff. I'm really taking a risk by even going down. This one, however, finally we have a staircase that's reasonably clear. I'll shout and bring things to me, hopefully one or two at a time. This must be a rather open-ended floor. I mean, I understand Shoals is always open-ended, but... or open floor plan. But what I really mean is... I'm not sure that there are the little houses in this version. Or if they're quite so enclosed, you know, like they usually are. I think they might be a little more open. I'll explain what I mean a little more once I actually have cleared this floor some more. Don't want to get hit for 50 plus damage from the alligator turtle. Still no interesting gifts from Trog. I mean, velocity's good enough, though. +3 freezing. Eh. There's a few potions and things I need to take a look at on this floor, but I'm just going to keep clearing it. Let's walk away from the Kraken. Got the rune. See, it's just like I thought. It's open. It's not like an enclosed little house like it usually is. That's why those staircases were so contested. Stuff could hear the noise even more easily than usual. Jeez, my strength is 25. I should not be having that much trouble getting out of nets. Well, she's invisible, but that's cool. Guess what? She's invisible. Deep Trolls. Use Trog's Hand. Heal up a bit. She's dead. Cool. Deep Troll saves the day. I should grab that rod. You may be thinking, like, why would you want a lightning rod? Strictly to fight things that are farther away, behind enemies. If I find, I guess if I find Piercer, then it won't be necessary, but until then, you know. Alright. Cool stuff. Cleared out both of the lair runes, lair itself, and orc, all in less than an hour. Really cool. As for the future, not sure. Probably vaults. I'm gonna stop the video. I'm just getting the character in position for whatever comes next. Just stand in front of vaults. But I'm gonna have to give it some thought as for what I want to do when it comes time to do slime, because I do want to do slime. I also want to do elf, but I don't want to do that with harm on. Like, once you get into the part of the game where Iron Shot's a problem, you really just don't want to be wearing harm. In fact, as neat as it's been, we're dropping it now. And we'll just, well, we're not going to eat RF minus, even if I do want faith. We're going to try on this guy. Okay, we have faith. Cool, that's good enough for me. I can spam Brothers in Arms quite a lot, and I can possibly have more chances at getting speed longbow. So yeah, next time vaults 1 through 4, maybe even vaults 5. I do have quite a lot of blinking and teleport and things like that. I don't have any way of killing vault wardens if they're behind stuff, but even so, I should do pretty well in there. So we'll see. Until next time, I am signing out.